The alien fleet positioned itself, its warships stretching across the heavens above Earth's final surviving colony. Under the dim light of distant stars, their engineering marvels gleamed brilliantly. Half of humanity's colonies had already been annihilated, obliterated in the wake of their relentless campaign. Now they loomed above, confident this was the final chapter for the species they had long underestimated. Scanners detected a single human warship, prompting sneers from the alien commanders who struggled to mask their amusement. To them, this was laughable small, insignificant, and hopelessly outclassed. A defeated species' last defiant stand. On-board Vengeance, Earth's last surviving cruiser, the atmosphere was taut with tension. The crew operated in somber silence, their grim determination etched into every face. At the helm, Captain Elias stood resolute, his steely gaze fixed on the massive alien fleet overhead, the very fleet that had turned countless human colonies to ash. Memories of destruction surged through his mind. Friends, families, entire worlds snuffed out as effortlessly as extinguishing a candle. This was more than a battle, it was vengeance fittingly carried by the ship bearing that very name. The alien commanders observed the lone human vessel with disdain. To them, it was nothing more than a relic, a symbolic gesture from a dying race. Their technological superiority was undeniable, city-sized ships armed with kinetic missiles, energy cannons, and impenetrable shields. Against such overwhelming power, what could one outdated human cruiser possibly achieve? Yet, unknown to the aliens, Vengeance wasn't just a warship, it was humanity's final, desperate creation. Beneath its sleek, unassuming exterior lay experimental technologies, humanity's most dangerous and closely guarded weapons, forged in the darkest hours of the war. Unaware of the trap awaiting them, the alien fleet prepared for what they assumed would be a routine extermination. Their targeting systems locked onto the lone human vessel, primed to obliterate it in a single, overwhelming barrage. On board Vengeance, Captain Elias stood tall, unflinching. The faces of fallen comrades haunted him, friends, loved ones, entire colonies obliterated. Gritting his teeth, he silently vowed the aliens would pay for everything they had taken. "Stand by," he ordered, his voice cutting through the heavy silence. The crew responded with unshaken resolve. They understood the odds, but survival was no longer the objective. This was about delivering a message humanity would not go quietly. The alien fleet advanced with confidence, their ships inching closer. Their lead commander issued orders with arrogant ease, convinced a single volley would end this farce. Energy arcs lit up the void as the first barrage rained down, converging on Vengeance. But instead of succumbing, the ship's shields absorbed the assault, dissipating the energy harmlessly. Confusion replaced the smug grins on the alien commanders' faces. How could this outdated vessel survive their most potent attack? Before they could regroup, Vengeance retaliated. Its quantum railgun fired a silent, precise shot that bypassed the alien shields entirely, slicing through their lead cruiser. In an instant, the once mighty ship was reduced to molten debris. Stunned silence gripped the alien fleet as their most formidable warship was obliterated. Panic rippled through their ranks. One by one, Vengeance unleashed its deadly arsenal. Quantum projectiles tore through the alien fleet, reducing their mighty warships to wreckage. The aliens' coordinated assault unraveled, their ships colliding in frantic attempts to avoid destruction. What began as a routine operation had spiraled into chaos. The aliens had underestimated humanity, its resilience, ingenuity, and desperation. Now, they were paying the price. As the alien fleet descended into disarray, Captain Elias stood firm. His calm, resolute voice echoed across the bridge fire. Humanity's vengeance had begun. For years, the aliens had dismissed humans as inferior in every way. Yet here they were, confronted by a cruiser equipped with incomprehensible weaponry, systematically dismantling their armada. In a desperate bid to mitigate their losses, alien commanders ordered their fleet to disperse. But the humans were relentless. Vengeance shifted from defense to offense, launching a devastating assault with pinpoint precision. Every shot was deliberate, every target chosen with care. The human crew operated with surgical efficiency, their every action driven by grief and vengeance. Years of watching their worlds burn had forged them into a team singularly focused on making the aliens pay. Captain Elias issued commands with precision, his gaze unwavering as he observed the destruction. For him, this battle was personal. He had witnessed the devastation of humanity firsthand, and the memories of the dead lingered. This wasn't just retaliation, it was retribution, a desperate effort to change the course of the war, no matter the cost. This conflict only fueled his determination, marking the beginning of a greater struggle, one that was not just about protecting humanity's last colony, but about delivering long-awaited justice. Captain Elias knew that defeating this alien force could reignite humanity's hope, giving them the momentum needed to reclaim what had been lost. Failure, however, was not an option. As vengeance carved through the alien fleet, it showed no mercy. Each destroyed alien vessel became a victory not just for the crew but for humanity itself. What the aliens had dismissed as an outdated relic turned out to be a weapon far deadlier than they had imagined. The humans, once seen as a species on the brink of extinction, were now proving they were not only willing to fight but capable of triumphing. Alien leaders began to grasp the extent of their miscalculation. Humanity's ingenuity and resilience had been severely underestimated, and ship after ship fell, each explosion a stark reminder of their dwindling dominance. Inside Vengeance, the crew pressed forward, transforming from prey to predator. There was no room for hesitation. Their focus was unwavering, their mission clear. Captain Elias understood that this battle wouldn't end the war, but it would demonstrate humanity's ability to rise once again. For the first time, the aliens began to comprehend the cost of underestimating Earth. The balance of power shifted. Humanity, once teetering on the edge of extinction, now stood in control. The alien fleet, once perfectly synchronized and nearly invincible, descended into chaos. Ships that had once moved in harmony now scrambled to escape. Each passing moment saw more alien vessels erupt into wreckage, unable to withstand Vengeance's relentless assault. Alien commanders, once confident and in control, now faced panic and disarray. Their tactical superiority crumbled under the precision and ferocity of the human assault. Amid the turmoil, their once cohesive chain of command fractured. Arguments broke out among alien officers. Some clung to arrogance, insisting they could turn the tide, refusing to accept that a single human warship was defeating them. Others, more pragmatic, recognized the truth: humanity had outmaneuvered them, and their fleet was being systematically destroyed. As Vengeance locked onto the alien command ship, the endgame became clear. The destruction of their flagship would shatter the alien forces completely. With devastating precision, Vengeance unleashed a barrage of quantum railgun fire. The alien command ship buckled, its shields failing and systems collapsing under the assault. When the flagship was obliterated, the alien fleet descended into full disarray. Leaderless, the remaining ships fell into desperation. Some attempted to flee, while others launched futile, reckless attacks. But it was too late. Humanity's vessels advanced with calculated precision, tearing through the remaining ships with devastating plasma beams and railgun rounds. The alien fleet, once a symbol of their overwhelming superiority, was reduced to scattered debris. The few alien ships that managed to flee did so under heavy fire, their survival unlikely. No mercy remained in the hearts of Vengeance's crew. They had suffered too much, lost too many. This was no longer a fight for survival, it was retribution. Each alien vessel represented the destruction and suffering they had inflicted, and Vengeance's crew was determined to ensure no alien would live to repeat the attack. As the battlefield quieted, the remnants of the alien fleet drifted through space as lifeless wreckage. Vengeance glided through the debris as its mission accomplished. Yet, the mood aboard remained somber. They had achieved a monumental victory, but the war was far from over. Captain Elias stood at the helm, his gaze fixed on the remains of the battlefield. This was only the beginning. Humanity's resolve had been underestimated, and now the aliens would bear the cost of that mistake. The debris of the shattered alien fleet floated aimlessly in the void, a grim testament to humanity's defiance. Vengeance cut through the wreckage with steady purpose, its sleek hull bearing the scars of the battle yet exuding an air of invincibility. The crew, while victorious, remained silent, their eyes fixed on their instruments, their minds on the next move. They knew this was only a temporary reprieve. The aliens would regroup, and the war was far from over. Captain Elias stood at the command console, his gaze unwavering. His thoughts, however, were anything but calm. This victory, monumental as it was, came at a cost. The names of fallen colonies and faces of loved ones haunted him. He clenched his fists as he stared at the tactical display, where the remaining alien presence flickered as faint signals at the edge of their sensors. They were retreating now, scattered and disorganized, but Elias knew better than to celebrate too early. "Status report," he ordered, his voice steady despite the tension in the room. "Shields at 67%, Captain." "Weapon systems fully operational," replied Lieutenant Karev, her hands gliding over the controls. "Minimal damage to critical systems." Elias nodded, a small relief amid the chaos. "Good. Begin scanning for survivors among the wreckage. If there's any trace of human captives or prisoners, I want them found." The bridge crew set to work, their movements precise and efficient. For them, this wasn't just about revenge, it was about reclaiming every shred of humanity that had been lost to the invaders. As the ship drifted closer to the largest cluster of wreckage, a new signal appeared on the scanner. Ensign Rhodes frowned at his station. "Captain, I'm picking up a faint distress beacon. Human in origin." The tension in the room spiked. A human distress signal in the heart of alien space. It was unexpected, and it could very well be a trap. Elias approached Rhodes' console, his sharp eyes scanning the data. The signal was weak, erratic, but unmistakably human. "Where is it coming from?" Elias demanded. Rhodes hesitated. "It's originating from the remains of what appears to be an alien transport vessel. Heavily damaged. Could have been carrying prisoners before the battle." Elias straightened, his decision immediate. "Plot a course. If there are survivors, we're getting them out." But Captain Karev interjected cautiously. "It could be a trap. The aliens are desperate now, they might use human captives as bait." Elias met her gaze, his expression unyielding. "And if it isn't? We're not leaving anyone behind. If there's even a chance, we take it. Prepare a boarding team." The crew exchanged glances but knew better than to argue. They had trusted Elias this far, and his decisions had carried them through impossible odds. Within minutes, vengeance approached the fractured remains of the alien transport. The ship was a twisted husk, its once formidable structure torn apart by the relentless assault. The boarding team, clad in reinforced suits, prepared for deployment. Elias himself led the group, his resolve clear. "Keep it tight," he instructed as the team stepped into the airlock. "We don't know what's waiting for us in there." The boarding pod launched, latching onto the shattered hull of the alien vessel. Inside, the atmosphere was cold and still, the only sounds their measured breathing and the faint hum of their equipment. The corridors were dark, lit only by the flickering of emergency lights. Alien corpses littered the floor, signs of internal chaos during the battle. As they advanced, the source of the distress signal grew closer. It led them to a sealed chamber, its heavy doors barely intact. Elias motioned for his team to breach it. The explosion of the charges echoed in the confined space, and the door gave way, revealing a scene that made even the hardened soldiers hesitate. Inside were rows of containment pods, many of them shattered or empty. but a handful remained intact, their occupants human, malnourished, bruised, but alive. They stared at the rescuers with a mixture of disbelief and hope. Elias stepped forward, his voice steady but filled with a rare warmth. "You're safe now. We're here to bring you home." One of the survivors, an older man with sunken eyes, struggled to speak. You fought back," he rasped. "You actually fought back." Elias nodded, his jaw set. "And we're not stopping. This is just the beginning." As the team began extracting the survivors, a sudden jolt shook the alien vessel. An alert blared in their helmets' movement on the ship's outer hull. Elias's communicator crackled with urgency. "Captain, hostile signals inbound." Kerv's voice cut through the static. "Alien reinforcements, they must have picked up the distress signal too." Elias's expression hardened. "Understood. Get Vengeance ready for immediate departure. We'll handle things here." The battle wasn't over. The aliens were regrouping, and they wouldn't let Vengeance escape without a fight. But Elias and his crew had already proven one thing: humanity was no longer running. They would fight, and they would win. "Brace yourselves," Elias called to his team, gripping his weapon tightly. "This isn't over yet." The echoes of his words hung in the air as the fight for survival and for vengeance continued.